You see, this Equatorial Guinea country is all about families and relationships. You cannot hold any meaningful position in public office or control anything of significance in that country if you are not connected to the ruling class by way of blood family or friendship, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the reason behind why the country is so rich in oil, but the people are super poor. Equatorial Guinea is considered an oil-rich nation, for your information. Since the mid-90s, when they discovered offshore oil reserves, it transformed it into one of sub-Saharan Africa's largest oil producers. In fact, at its peak in the 2000s, oil accounted for over 90% of the government's revenue and made the country one of the highest GDP per capita nations in Africa. But ladies and gentlemen, that money was seen not by all. It was all stuck up in the hands of the president, his family, and his friends, ladies and gentlemen. Currently, they are having a production decline because many of their oil fields have reached maturity stage and they have to move on to new sites. But that's just another topic for another day. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to Baltasar. So Baltasar was subtly in competition with the president's son over who takes over the presidency when the old man is gone. And hence, many skeptics allege that his arrest on suspicion of corruption was actually orchestrated by the president's son. It is alleged. But after a year-long court proceeding, the verdict came out. The court ruling on his case came out with this verdict. He was found guilty along with 5 other officials who initially claimed the money was an allowance for their travel. The amounts range from $9,000 to about $220,000. In addition to his jail sentence was also a fine of $220,000. So he isn't just going to jail for the number of people's wives and girlfriends he slept with, ladies and gentlemen, but his act of embezzlement. That is the reason.